Bonjour.
I know. And then Jordan said he couldn't make it today because he got fired.
Well,
No.
you're the one that fired him, so I don't know why. But we should tell
Yeah,
the
why
people
I'm
why.
surprised.
Yeah,
Well, I don't have to tell them why.
that's true. They've seen the
Um,
show.
shots fired. Welcome back to another episode of the recap. We are poking fun at Jordan, who had a a family thing he had to take care of today, so he will not be joining. But he's not actually fired. He'll be back.
Yes, it's just the dynamic duo today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lynn and Pat. I wish I had a theme song.
Bonjour.
Yeah. Actually, that is something I wanted to bring up, which was it's a shame Jordan's not here because I suspect there would have been a lot of editing due to the amount of French jokes that he would have
Oh my
made
gosh.
throughout through the
Just
course
offend
of
the whole
that.
nation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, so we had our episode with Bertrand Van
Yeah.
Roombeck.
Yes.
And it was awesome.
What
Really
a cool guy.
stuff.
Yeah, so
I know.
interesting. And
Is there anything that like kind of jumps out at you as we start? Like this was definitely not out of our realm. In fact, it was perfect, but it was a different. It was just such a different perspective on so many things.
it was. I mean, I don't want to say I was surprised at how interested the French were in the American Revolution, but just the amount of interest kind of surprised me. I mean, obviously, there was the interest in, monarchy versus republic. And, obviously the French Revolution happens not that long after the American Revolution. But I guess I didn't realize there was the perhaps intellectual, almost academic interest in the American Revolution. So that kind of took me aback a little bit.
Yeah. It was listening to you guys talk with Bertrand was really cool. And it's funny because like their interest in the revolution, especially at the time, because that and their revolution failed, if I'm not mistaken, right, Lynn?
Well, it was very violent. It was just it was a very different type of revolution.
Very different. Okay.
Yes.
Not necessarily as clean of a
right. And in fact, George Washington didn't support it because he said that there was we had the, Congress and the Continental Army, whereas with France, it was just kind of anarchy. And so George Washington didn't even support it because he said, this isn't going to work. It's just going to be, a massive violence. And I mean, essentially what he said is how it turned out.
And how it went. And I mean, also like just thinking about it, it's like our revolution is so different in that we were so far away from the power.
Right. That helps.
Of us. Yes, it definitely does. And so they were really interested in our revolution. And then what's really funny to me was that in the same way that we view our own revolution, at some point, I think it was later in the episode, Bertrand was talking about how French people, for the most part, focus on their revolution as being the big revolution. And for us, it's the exact same. And it was an interesting like duality or dichotomy, or I guess it just paradigm shift from what we talked about in the episode, which was they were very interested in our revolution at the time. So I thought that cracked me up. It's so normal for us to just all focus on our own things.
Sure. I mean, our revolution's the best. Your kids are the cutest. Your dog's the cutest. It's like, you have. I know. Well,
your dogs and my dog
are the cutest.
Let's
be honest.
Also, happy birthday, Charlie! 12 years old today.
Charlie.
Yeah, we already. Yay. She went on and got a treat this morning, and we'll
extra treats.
Lots of extra treats. Yes, she's gonna. I'll give her some blueberries today, and she'll probably turn into like a psycho because she gets the sugar rush and then just like attacks me.
The zoomies, yeah.
Yes, she's ridiculous. Even at 12.
Well, she's objectively the best dog ever, but for things like revolutions.
Hey, I'm not fighting that. And yeah, definitely for revolution. So Anything else that stuck out to you? Because that was definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the things that Bertrand mentioned was that the French nobility sort of needed war more
Hmm.
than most nations because the nobility didn't do anything else. It was
Right.
sort of like this is what you've got for glory. If you want to be known, if you want to make a name, you want to do something other than just be a figurehead, you need war. So it was kind of interesting that they had a reason to actually push for war because then they can go out and, even if they get killed, they become a martyr, they get glory. So
Mm.
this is something that they want. And I guess the fact that they wanted war didn't necessarily surprise me because I think there are a lot of nations and where they want to show their, military strength. But the fact
Hmm.
that that's all they had, I guess I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I read a lot of like science fiction
Mhm.
and fantasy books, and like that sounds like tribal warfare hierarchy stuff,
Yeah.
and it is.
Yeah, it's you gotta make a name
um,
for yourself somehow. You want glory and, you gotta go to war because what else are you gonna get glory from, I guess?
I
Nothing that they
I
felt was worth it.
yeah, I don't know, maybe like discovering like an incredible way to improve infrastructure or medicine or no,
Yeah, but I
never
don't
mind.
think the nobility was sitting back in their,
They
fancy
weren't worried about that.
Versailles
No,
worrying
definitely
about
not.
medicine. Yeah, which is why someone needed to go to war.
Yeah.
So,
This is what happens when you have lots of time and a sense of honor and a lot of money.
right,
War.
there's nothing else to do, right? And no
Yeah.
internet. So,
Yeah,
what else are they
exactly.
gonna do?
Oh, I know. If only they had Netflix.
Could you imagine? There'd be
Yeah,
fights over Facebook.
the Netflix and chill French Revolution. It would be a lot more docile. That's so funny. And then something that like I thought was so wild
Mhm.
was, and this is I'm gonna take a little shot here, but like people in history, I'm not going to name anyone specifically, and it's not a person so much as like general things being said these days. People knew things were wrong throughout history,
Mhm.
and no more evidence can be said or demonstrated than the essay competitions
Yes.
that the French had. I don't remember the years in particular, but it was after the 1770s, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, I think it started right around, 77.
Okay,
And I think they still do things like that today. I mean, it's continued,
super cool.
which
I'll have
is
to ask
yeah.
Ari's colleague or my wife's colleague, her her work roommate
Mm,
or the office mate
right, right.
is from France. So I'll ask them if they're
Yeah.
still doing these comps. But I thought it was so cool that they were like, how is colonialism impacting the world? How is like what is it good? Is it bad?
Right.
Why? And the fact that there were people who were saying, yeah, it's not good, or
Mhm.
it's here are the bad things that are happening because of it,
Right.
despite us liking the idea of it. Um,
Yeah, it benefits us, but we know all of these bad things are coming from it, but we're still
right.
benefiting from it.
And it's
Um,
like if they knew then, like why can't we talk about it now? But outside of us going down that path, I did just think that was super cool,
right.
and I would love to see more open. I don't want to necessarily have it as competition because
Right. That gets
it's
that
a
can
little
get muddied.
weird,
Yeah.
but also, it's not like Twitter or
Oh
Facebook
gosh, no.
or, those places are necessarily ripe with nuggets of, general general knowledge.
Yeah,
It's
you
it's
don't
just
go
the
on those and have your mind expanded too much usually.
or you do and you just follow, you keep pulling on that string to that sweater and it unravels fast.
That's true. Yes.
Social media, oof, what a
Just
place.
like Abe Lincoln said, you don't believe everything you read on the internet.
I
I saw that on the
I
internet, so
yeah,
it has
yeah.
to be true.
I believe he actually learned that from his best friend Gandalf.
Yeah. My precious. Um, I think, and in the essay contest that you were talking about, I think it was the colonialism one, but it was, was it the colonialism one that they said, how can we fix the negative aspects? Like that was part of the question.
Yeah, it was.
And it went on for years and nobody won because nobody could come up with ways to fix it or to make it better. So they were like,
Right.
no winner.
No winner.
But how hopeful that they must have been that they actually thought someone was going to come up with a solution, that they just kept dragging it on and on. But it did force people to think about things that I think sometimes we try not to think about.
And yeah, absolutely. And actually, I don't remember. It might have actually been in reference to slavery.
I thought it had something to do with slavery, but I didn't know if it was tied to colonialism. Yeah, but it was,
Yeah, or like
what are
what's
the
happening to
negative things?
indigenous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then how do you fix it? And everyone's like,
Okay, so the realist in me says no one had an answer because that is a age old question that
right.
Get rid of human greed, I guess. But
Yeah, just change people, just change human beings completely.
Yes. And then the tinfoil hat in me, like the conspiracy theorist, is like, they didn't want to publish the solution.
Right. Yes, they have a whole bunch of them. That's why they kept it going.
Yeah,
But they're not going to share it because then they have to, lose out on.
They have the colonialism solutions recipe book somewhere
deep in the French archives.
Yes. Yeah. Deep in the loo somewhere down there.
You mean the Louvre?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said the loo.
I did say the loo.
Like they flushed it.
yeah. That's exactly what happened.
It's in the French sewers.
Goodness gracious, I know. Speaking, this is what happens without Jordan. It just all becomes toilet talk.
It all becomes toilet talk. Yeah.
Actually, with Jordan, it also
loo
remains
talk.
a lot of toilet talk. Yeah, loo talk.
Somehow we always all roads lead back to the loo.
Yes, yeah. And the brutality of which Lynn destroys me when I misspeak.
It's all I've got. I'm not funny like you.
You're hilarious. You're killing me right now. And it's like just subtle, small, like just little jabs. It's like by the end of it, I like walk out and like my face is swollen. And it's like, oh, crushing me.
I'm cruel and heartless. It's true.
Yes. But that's why you're a good historian, because you're willing to tell the cruel and heartless stories.
That's right.
Also, Lynn is not cruel and is not heartless. So if anyone is thinking that, you're fools. Fools. So the other thing that I thought was really, awesome, and I'm really excited about is what Bertrand is doing around America 250.
Yes.
So if you aren't aware, in 2026, that'll be the 250th anniversary of the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Signed the Declaration of Independence and said, hey, England, screw you.
Peace out.
Yes, peace out. We're on our own now. And
boy, are we going to be a doozy. You're gonna get a lot out of us. Yeah, a lot of content.
Let's go to war.
Yeah. A few wars, a few internal strifes. It's been a road.
It's been a road, and now it's a big birthday.
And it is a big birthday.
So I think
and
everyone will be celebrating it. All the historic sites, museums. It's going to be a big deal.
It'll be awesome. Yeah. So get ready, because there will be a lot going on, whether it's at a local historic site, whether it's in probably some of the bigger cities around the country. Like there will be a lot of things to look at, a lot of celebrations, and there should be. And it's awesome. And we're really excited. I love that Bertrand is, I believe he said, an Americanist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In France. Yeah.
In France.
Mm-hmm.
Love that word.
Mm-hmm.
And as all Americans, I would imagine, do, because
it's about us.
It's about us and our revolution. No. And it's really cool that they're going around Europe and talking about the American Revolution and about America's 250th anniversary. And I remember I was there when we got to talk to Bertrand in Paris, and it was I was also half dead.
And you got trapped in Paris.
I did. It was it was not the romantic getaway I was hoping for with
Well,
Isaac.
you and Isaac had a little bit of romance, but it wasn't what you'd
Yeah,
hoped for.
yeah, no, us barely being able to breathe, and incredible headaches, and also not being allowed to leave.
Yep. Trapped in
Very
Paris.
interesting.
Tough
Yeah,
life
woof.
there.
Anyway, outside of that, I do remember talking to Bertrand and like hearing other perspectives on the revolution, and it's so interesting and cool and informative and worth hearing.
Yeah, we sort of all know our viewpoint, whereas we were the victims who fought the horrible, greedy monarchy and became the best country in the world. But other countries have different perspectives on that story,
Yeah,
and it's not to say that there's anything wrong with our perspective, but learning other perspectives can either change your perspective or can strengthen it. And either way, it's totally worth it. And it's going to be
yeah.
new stuff for most of us, I think. I mean, new perspectives.
New story,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's so interesting that like we went from this kind of we went from being enemies to frenemies. And our relationship is, I feel like I knew almost nothing about our relationship with France until I started working on this project, or at least the docuseries. And it's a much longer storied, relationship. Most of what I think about is like, like French people are afraid of fighting or something. And then it's like, no, actually French nobility thrived and
Yeah, exactly.
glory based on fighting. And they just happen to be part of a lot of land wars. So that's just how it goes. Oh, out of focus. There I am.
And they were absolutely necessary for us to win our revolution.
Oh yeah. So without them, there's no us.
So no French hating.
Yeah. Also, French fries, guys. Come on, French fries. Like that's not a small. That's not a small contribution.
It's the biggest.
We'll have to. You know what? In light of that, if you do watch this, if you've made it this far, thank you. Let us know what your favorite type of potato is. Like whether it's hash browns, whether it's French fries, and tater tots, the type of fry. So whether it's crinkle cut, waffle fries, steak fries, just wedges,
Those are good.
Twice baked potatoes. Yeah, let us know which one you like, because there will be opinions, and we'll
the Great Potato War of 2023.
The Great Potato War of 2023. Gosh, yeah. That you know what? Never mind.
We'll talk later after.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Definitely. All right, guys. Well, Lynn, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For recapping with me, and as always, fantastic episode. We have a really cool show coming up in a few weeks.
We do. But until then, you got to listen to Bertrand. He's got an awesome French accent, super, super smart, and just so fun to listen to.
One of the best. Yeah. So check it out at 2c4hpod.com. That'll give you a link to basically any site you're using to listen to our podcast. Also, just want to say, check out www.intohistory.com /2c4h. It'll be in the show notes down below. You can get our premium subscription, get a bunch of other shows, no commercials, get access to our Discord channel.
Discord's fun.
Discord is fun. Mm-hmm. You'll see our pet pictures. Mm-hmm. You can talk to us directly, talk to other podcast makers. It's a really, really cool platform, and we're going to be expanding what it looks like for us. You might even have early access to this show. Wow, I know.
Early.
So I know. So we're still figuring out what that looks like. But if there's anything you would want from us, let us know. And until next time, stay complicated.
And eat potatoes.
And eat potatoes. That's not going to be our log out. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Guys.